What is up, Hive Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and we're going to talk about some top weight loss mistakes that most of you or many of you are doing. Usually it's because you don't truly understand exactly how to maximize weight loss throughout the entire process, or because you're just starting out on your weight loss journey. Either way, this video is made to help you no matter what diet or protocol you're using, so hopefully you stick around. Now let's go ahead and break it down in this video. Stay tuned. Alright guys, quickly before we start, this video is brought to you by yours truly, Fledge Fitness and the Fledge Fitness Jump Rope. If you haven't gotten yours yet, what are you waiting for? With an ergonomic design, aluminum handle, and swivel design, with the price being just $16.50, you can't go wrong with the Fledge Fitness Jump Rope. You can click on the top right hand corner of this video or down in the description box below. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Now let's go into the first thing that I think most people do when they are entering a diet or they're going into some type of intervention to try to lose weight. The number one thing people do is that they go too hard, too fast, and they don't understand that weight loss is actually pretty easy in terms of the grand scheme of things. Most people can lose weight. What most people cannot do is keep the weight off. That is the bigger issue that we have than weight loss. Weight loss is somewhat of an issue, but a lot of people can do it. Keeping the weight off is the bigger issue that many people cannot do. And one of the reasons why a lot of people can't do this is because they do the too hard, too fast rule once they start. They're very gung-ho, they're very highly motivated at that point, and all of this motivation that's going on, psychologically, they're willing to do whatever it takes initially. What happens is, because it's so aggressive, and then they fall off a few times here and there, they end up completely falling off and not having a sustainable out once they reach their weight loss goal. So you don't want to go too hard too fast. And by too hard too fast, I mean doing like multiple protocols, only eating broccoli and chicken, making sure you go to the gym 7 days a week, making sure you're doing cardio 7 days a week, only eating the quote unquote health foods, and just setting themselves up for failure down the line. One good transition from not having an intervention to having an intervention is just eat a little bit less, or just trying to eat things that you like that are lower calorie dense food. For example, if you like to snack on stuff, why not snack on popcorn? Because you can eat a lot of it, you can feel full, and then only be eating about 130 calories. Upping your protein intake, which tends to be more satiating, which means you feel more satisfied with the food that you ate, but also tends to be lower calorie. And also, protein has a very high thermic effect compared to all the macronutrients. So just transitioning smoothly as opposed to transitioning aggressively by just eating chicken and broccoli. That transition, although you may see some success early on, can actually hurt you down the line. So don't go in too hard, too fast. That's number one. Number two, never adjusting your procedure or intake. This is a big one because a lot of people see success and think that all they have to do is continue to replicate whatever they're doing, and they're going to continue to see success. And even some people believe that they're going to continue to see the same success. I cannot tell you how many countless times someone has said, oh, I eat this and I've lost 10 pounds this week. If I keep on eating this, I will continue to lose 10 pounds, and by July, I'm going to be the weight that I want. It absolutely does not work like that. First of all, whatever you're doing that does work for you, initially, there are so many things that you can be seeing on the scale that could be throwing you off. You could have lost a lot of water weight because whatever you're doing has improved your water intake or increased your water intake while decreasing sodium intake, while upping your potassium. All of that releases water. So if you're eating more avocado, for example, and more bananas, you're probably increasing your potassium, and that is removing a lot of water from your body or helping you release a lot of water. And when it comes to water weight, that's literally where you can see the greatest shifts on the scale. You could wake up to 8 pounds lost just because you lost a lot of water. Also, if you reduce your carbohydrate intake, large carbohydrate intake creates glycogen. Glycogen contains water. If you're not getting in enough glucose, your body will break down that glycogen, thus releasing that water, adding to the scale. So a lot of the beginning weight loss can be water weight or will be water weight, and that can throw you off. So you still need to be able to adjust. Do understand though that the water weight is a good sign. Even if it's just water, it can be a good sign because your body probably doesn't have enough glucose and is using the energy that you're already storing. And then after that, it goes for your body fat. These are cascading effects that help you. These things do definitely help you, but do understand that whatever happened on week 1 may not be replicated with the following weeks. That's very important to understand. On top of that, you do have to understand adaptive thermogenesis, which is when you reduce your caloric intake or when you reduce in weight, you actually start to burn less calories. Now, it doesn't matter if you do intermittent fasting. It doesn't matter if you do the keto diet. It doesn't matter if you do flexible dieting. It doesn't matter what protocol or diet you take. Whatever you do, if you're reducing calorie intake and you're reducing weight, you will eventually also reduce your metabolic rate. And the reason that this is reducing is because of things like your weight. Literally, you're carrying less weight. Now your body has to work less to carry itself. Thus, you are burning less. Whenever you run now, you're running with less weights. Think about it like putting weights on. If you take weights off, you're doing less. There's less stress there. And because of the less stress, you're going to be improving less. So you do need to be evaluating yourself every now and then. I highly recommend evaluating yourself using fat calipers to judge how much body fat you have or how much body fat you've lost, as opposed to just looking at the scale. Because it's actually better to see how you look in the mirror, compare pictures, and check your body fat using either tape measure or just body fat calipers to know how much body fat you're losing. Because your full body weight is incredibly dynamic and it consists of so many different things. Glycogen, water, muscle, lean tissue, so many different things, and so many different things can fluctuate that weight on the scale, and you could get false hope or you can give up too early thinking that what you're doing is not working. So constantly reevaluate what's going on every week with body fat calipers, and maybe you can use your scale if you want, maybe when you do the body fat caliper check, or every 2 weeks or every month, however you want to do it. But don't rely too much on the scale. Try to rely on the body fat calipers. Even if body fat calipers are not 100% accurate, you will still have a set point. So whatever you measure, even if it's off by 5%, 10%, whatever, if you measure 15% body fat and then in 2 weeks you measure and you're at 12% body fat, there's a reduction there. It's grabbing on to less mass. So something is happening, something positive is happening. So it doesn't have to be accurate. You just have to create a set point, even if it's inaccurate, and notice that that set point is reducing, and you will know that you are actually losing weight. And more importantly, you're actually losing body fat. Another quick one that I want to touch on is eating out. Eating at restaurants, those things can completely ruin everything that you're doing. If you think that you can just eat out because you do maybe intermittent fasting, for example, something that I like to talk about on this channel, if you think that because you're doing intermittent fasting, you can just eat out and you'll be fine, it's very difficult to know how much calories are actually on that plate. Even if it tells you the calories on the menu, you still have to understand that your food is being mass produced. So they're mixing it in. They are not actually doing portion control. They're throwing in a lot of different oils. Oils are incredibly calorie dense, and they're just mixing everything in. They're not measuring or weighing your food. So you actually truly don't know how much you're eating. And then most people do not account for the beverages that they drink. Usually you can get more than a 3-course meal's worth in calories when you get an appetizer, meal, and dessert. So you have to keep that in mind. You remove your control when you eat out. So instead of eating at a restaurant, try as much as you can. I'm not saying don't do it at all, but try to really limit that and try as much as you can to eat at home, because that's where you have all the control in the world. And finally, I'm going to talk about people doing cardio over resistance training. Now, I'm not saying don't do cardio. I'm saying you need to have a priority for resistance training over cardio. I'm going to explain it just like this. Cardio is equivalent to punching in and punching out at work. If you don't show up, you're not going to get paid. If you don't do that cardio session, you're not going to lose weight during that cardio session, and obviously a little bit after the cardio session. But your weight loss is predicated on you showing up every time you show up for that cardio session. If you don't show up for that cardio session, you are not going to be losing the weight. You are not going to be losing those 300 or 400 calories per session. When you do resistance training and you build muscle, that's like putting out a business or putting out work into the world and then seeing the residual income come in, even though you might not be specifically working on that day. You have to think of it as the calorie partitioning. Lean tissue is the most metabolically active thing in your body. If you increase your lean tissue by increasing muscle tissue, the calories that you take in have to be dispersed to your muscle. The more muscle you have, the more calories it requires, and the more metabolically active your body is. So you're burning more calories and you're partitioning more of the calorie intake to fuel the muscle. So the more muscle you have, the more portion of the calories that you eat are going there. So if you're building muscle and you get to a certain point where you've built your muscle, your body will continue to require that even if you're not specifically going to the gym that day or that week. You've built a base inside your body that requires that calorie, thus helping you reduce the storage, the body fat storage, which is truly the most important thing. When you're trying to lose weight, you're not trying to lose weight. You're trying to lose body fat. I'm not saying don't do cardio. Of course, do cardio. There's other beneficial elements that come with cardio that's not just for weight loss. It's literally in the name. It's your cardio metabolic health. It's your heart. Those things are good. You want to do that. Plus, it helps with losing weight. But building muscle is like building residual income in terms of the calorie partitioning element when you eat, making it easier to eat more and making it easy for you to even combat things like adaptive thermogenesis. So hopefully this video has helped you guys. Of course, as always, I want to thank my patrons for my Patreon, and I'm going to go ahead and put their names right up here. And as always, guys, I'll see you on Wednesday for another FAQ. Peace!